Tales are often told of the legends of medieval history, the men and women renowned for their accomplishments and achievements and who've entered into the pantheon of immortality. In Crusader Kings 2, the legacy of these figures is represented by Bloodlines, a mechanic that provides permanent bonuses to the dynasty of historically relevant figures. My name is AlzaboHD, and in the following video we will cover 10 of the most powerful Bloodline bonuses in the game, including how to obtain them, catch them, and insert them into your family's legacy. But before we cover the strongest Bloodlines in medieval Europe, it's time to take a quick message from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Ubisoft's Might and Magic Era of Chaos. Era of Chaos is a brand new free-to-play mobile strategy game that is based upon the epic storyline from Might and Magic 3. This game is an entirely new experience for fans of the series, and features recurring creatures, fantastic heroes, and the renowned artwork and music that you can expect from a fully fledged Might and Magic title. The core gameplay consists of assembling strategic armies and pre-battle formations to overcome the enemy, with strategy contributing more than 70% to your chance of victory. It is no exaggeration to say that the game is hard to master, and is perfect for fans of high-level strategy gaming. With over 20 collectible heroes and 80 creatures, Era of Chaos is incredibly replayable, and features 7 different game modes to select from, on top of consistent updates and multiplayer functionality. You can share gifts, steal resources, and compete in clan versus clan leaderboards with your friends and rivals alike, and skill is paramount to your success in multiplayer battle. If you'd like to jump into the world of Arathia and support the channel, be sure to check out the description link below to play Might and Magic Era of Chaos for free on the iOS and Android store. Let's get back to the video. Starting off our list of potent parentage is the bloodline of one of history's most brutal conquerors, Atilla the Hun. If you're a fan of mounted warfare, child soldiers, and pillaging Latin civilizations, the bloodline of Attila is perfect for your lineage. And, on the topic of lineage, Attila's seed spreads far and wide, with his first descendant, Kagan Taktu of the Bulgar, available in the 762 starting date. And if you don't want to form Bulgaria yourself, you can opt to grab the bloodline from King Boris of Bulgaria in 867, King Arpad of Hungary in 1066, or even Kagan Bigor in 1337. All of Attila's spawn benefit from monthly prestige, personal combat, and ethnic relation bonuses, and, unlike other bloodlines, provide you the ability to send off your children as mercenaries. But before you seek to invoke the spirit of the Congo or recreate the plotline of Blood Diamond, your child soldiers can only form mercenary bands at the age of medieval consent, also known as 16. There are many advantages to shipping off your progeny to fight foreign wars, including giving them a base +3 prestige per month and the adventurer trait, which provides flat bonuses to levy size, combat skill, maximum manpower, and a respectable +1 to their martial ability. This makes the mechanic ideal for grooming your primary heirs, and is helpful for nomadic succession. Of course, your child soldiers run the risk of combat mortality, but with consorts, concubines, and polygamy, you won't run out of expendable replacements anytime soon. And an extra mechanic for disposing yourself of inbred imbeciles in your dynasty is always a welcome feature, well before the advent of the Geneva Conventions. Raiding its way onto the next spot on our list of legendary lineages is the blood of Ragnar Lodbrok, the legend of the Viking sagas. And, although his historicity is dubious at best, Ragnar's bloodline certainly isn't, providing his progeny with bonuses to personal combat skill, cultural relations, and the unique mechanic of allowing non-Norse cultured characters the ability to gain Viking traits via pillage and plundering. If you'd like to obtain this bloodline for your dynasty, you can prepare for it as early as the 762 starting date, so long as you ensure King Sigurd of Sweden's son Ragnar survives until 780, when he obtains it at his coming of age. All other bookmarks contain Ragnar's blood in some form or another, which can be found flowing throughout medieval Scandinavia, up to and including King Valdemar of Denmark in the last 1337 starting date. The ability to obtain all Viking traits in your characters, even if they are not Norse cultured or follow the Germanic religion, is quite advantageous, as the Viking trait starts off strong and upgrades into Ravager and Sea King, providing further martial bonuses, relations modifiers, and combat skill for all of your dynasty's characters. If you're somehow able to kidnap one of Ragnar's daughters and marry them, even foreigners can obtain a spiked helmet and the lifeblood of a time when Scandinavia was a world power. The only thing more common than Swedes in a ship is the seed of Genghis Khan in Asia, the holder of this titular bloodline at number 8 on our list, either formable by event or appearing by and after the 1222 starting date with Lord Temujin himself. This bloodline is perfect for any player interested in belonging to the world's largest family, and belonging to Genghis' lineage does confer sizable bonuses, more specifically with monthly prestige gain, a +8 to personal combat ability, cultural relations modifiers, and the unique ability to engage in sky burials, regardless of your character's character's religion or culture. And even if you're not able to become Genghis Khan by decision, which requires you to be Tengri, own 35 counties, and possess 1500 prestige, you can easily marry into this bloodline, considering that more than half of Asia possesses it. The primary reason why you should hunt for this bloodline, though, is the ability to engage in sky burials, a mechanic that unlocks when one of your close relatives dies. In a similar manner to pilgrimages, sky burials trigger an event chain that can greatly benefit your ruler, giving them prestige and access to positive traits like ambitious, brawny, and brave. But be warned, bird law can corrupt you, and you may even ask, "Khan, I have some more." Much like a medieval recycling combine, these burials allow you to discreetly dispose of your second cousins and benefit from the recycled product. If conspiracy is your name and murder is your game, you'll be sure to enjoy the Sly Bloodline, up next at number 7 on our list. Unlike the previous sanguinary bonuses, the Sly Bloodline is not locked to any historical figure, and can be founded by anyone that is able to access the Forge a Bloodline ambition and subsequently liquidate 30 people. For those of you interested in the cloak and dagger side of medieval diplomacy, this bloodline is essential, bestowing you a plus 10% arrest chance modifier and unlocking the unique ability of obfuscation. While arbitrarily detaining people is fun for the whole family, the incredibly powerful obfuscation mechanic allows you to spend your prestige to erase any and all murder traits your character might have. In the blink of an eye, you can delete any criminal history you possess, up to and including the disastrous kinslayer and known murderer traits that tend to make people dislike you. In much the same way that incognito mode protects your family from your internet search history, this bloodline can shield your dynasty from the consequences of your Craigslist court encounters. Do you enjoy giving your prisoners Byzantine plastic surgery but abhor Greek culture? If so, you'll find the blood of Badwah perfect for your questionable needs and dirty deeds. Historically present for all but 2 years, you can find this bloodline in the wild by siring offspring with King Badwah of the Latin Empire in the 1204 starting date. Alternatively, any character can form this bloodline by embarking on the Fourth Crusade and usurping the title of Latin Emperor for themselves. In addition to the usual bonuses to prestige and ambivalent relations modifiers, the blood of Badwah is notable for unlocking the ability to castrate and blind characters, regardless of your dynasty's culture. These mechanics are great for any aspiring duelist, given that blinding your prisoners confers them a negative 100 modifier to combat ability and functionally transforms them into innocuous training targets. More importantly, though, is castration, which allows you to disinherit your enemies from titles and prevents them from accessing marriage. In almost every case, this can be used to neuter political rivals that you've caught in combat or have imprisoned, but not all eunuchs are known to lose their Greek fire. If you want to bear witness to the trials and tribulations of one such individual, I invite you to check out the castration challenge card at the top right of your screen. It wouldn't be Crusader Kings if we didn't cover at least one crusading bloodline, and the Lord of the Haute-Mer dutifully takes its place at number 5 on our list. Forgeable by any character that conquers the Middle East and slays the Saracens, this bloodline appears once you click the decision to found the Empire of the Haute-Mer. Disregarding the fact that this is no easy feat for you and the Barefoot Boys, this bloodline packs a punch, and lends itself well for kings who enjoy taking holiday in Northern Africa. More specifically, this bloodline offers you and your family increased monthly prestige, improved personal combat skill, and the unique mechanic of offering your armies plus 20% damage towards religious enemies, and the ability to convert your realm more quickly to whichever blend of deity you prefer. For players interested in proselytizing and embarking on one faith world conquest attempts, this bloodline is a useful tool, and if you're looking for a guide on how to crusade and form the prerequisite empire, I humbly invite you to check out the card at the top right of your screen. Up next on our tour of perennial pedigrees is the blood of Charles Martel, the savior of Christendom, at number 4 on our list. Befitting his status as the man who turned the tide of Islamic invasion in Western Europe, this Frenchman's lineage thoroughly permeates the noble fabric of early medieval aristocracy. Some of the most powerful men of their time, including King Charles of West Francia and King Carloman of Middle Francia, possess Carolinginian blood in the 767 starting date, though the lineage becomes progressively more scarce until its extinction in 1187. Befitting Martel's legacy as the shield of Christendom, Carolinginian blood confers +5 Catholic opinion, monthly prestige gain, and the unique mechanic of attracting great generals to any Catholic court that possesses his progeny. These great generals appear quite frequently, averaging about 1 every 2 years, and often have desirable traits like genius or strong that make them both fantastic military leaders as well as solid options for matrilineal marriages for your daughters. The Carlings are more or less universally detested in the CK2 community, but there's no one telling you that you can't poach it for yourself before dethroning this game's equivalent of the Habsburg dynasty. Do you enjoy pocket sand, elbow blades, and skullduggery? If so, you'll find the Dualist bloodline at number 3 on our list perfect for your dynasty and less than ideal for any would-be Aaron Burr. This bloodline is not present in any historical bookmark, and must instead be earned by engaging and surviving in a gratuitous quantity of gentlemen's disputes. Accomplishing this is in and of itself a feat worthy of legend, and requires your character to brandish their saber and duel at least 80 individuals, of which 20 must be put to the death. To access duels in the first place, you must set your character's focus to war, and even then you're only able to duel rivals, battlefield commanders, or members of certain societies a handful of times per year. If you're able to survive such an onslaught of crazed confrontations, your character will be able to found this titular bloodline, permitting you and all of your future progeny the ability to duel at will. On top of being able to duel without war focus, all of your dynasty will benefit from a monstrous plus 20 personal combat skill, and bonuses to both the morale damage and defense of their armies. This mechanic synergizes well with character antagonization, given that your swole spawn can duel any count, duke, or king you piss off enough to be your rival. If you're pagan, you can even use these duels for strong claims, allowing you to absorb large swaths of land without mobilizing your troops or declaring war. Displacing its way from the Bosphorus to Bactria is the blood of one of history's greatest generals, Alexander the Great. But unlike this historical figure's namesake, obtaining the heir to Alexander bloodline is more dependent on worshipping RNGesus than any pantheon of polytheistic plebeians. Founding the bloodline is contingent upon the completion of one of the rarest event chains in all of Crusader Kings, which can only trigger due to incredibly specific circumstances. These prerequisites require the player to have 15,000 prestige, at least an emperor title, a capital in Europe or the Near East, certain character traits, and is locked to historical bookmarks, with a mean time to happen of way too long and never going to happen. If you can fulfill these requirements and successfully complete the corresponding event chain, your character's dynasty will benefit from a multitude of eclectic bonuses worthy of Greek legend. These advantages include not only the usual monthly prestige gain, cultural affinity bonuses, and personal combat ability modifiers, but also a plus 15% levy and reinforcement rate, and a massive ability to call an invasion CB once per lifetime. Considering that invasion CBs are normally locked behind tribal and other unique government forms, the ability to use this mechanic on any and all of your characters will grant you access to one of the best tools for military expansion. Calling invasions allows you to declare and usurp entire kingdom titles once per character, which you can then reorganize into your domain. This can even be stacked with other bloodlines and tribal mechanics, permitting you to conquer the world in one of the most efficient ways possible. Jbola Ki, the strongest bloodline in caste system kings, originates from the largest subcontinent in the world. The blood of Ashoka is undeniably one of the best dynastic bonuses you can grant your dharmic ancestry, and is available to anyone who conquers the entirety of South Asia and forms the Empire of India. Once unlocked, it provides a plethora of permanent modifiers for all of your characters, including a negative 3% national revolt risk, bonus monthly piety, increased personal combat skill, cultural relations bonuses, and the ability to call both religious liberation wars and invade titular kingdoms once per character's lifetime. Disregarding the fact that all of these bonuses are insane, the addition of 2 separate and supremely powerful CBs make this bloodline the greatest of all time, despite the fact that goats are not intrinsically holy in Hinduism. The first casus belli, religious liberation, allows you to overthrow any nation that possesses provinces of your faith an infinite number of times, installing tributary states loyal to you in their place. The second CB, invasion, needs no introduction, allowing you to usurp any de jure kingdom title on the map once per lifetime. If you're playing in or around the subcontinent with a dharmic religion, you have no excuse not to found this bloodline, and curry out the ambitions of one of India's greatest leaders. If you've made it this far, congratulations! This concludes my top picks for the strongest bloodlines in Crusader Kings 2. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate a like or a comment, as these really help the channel grow. A special shout out goes to all of my patrons on Patreon for supporting the channel on a regular basis. I really appreciate the help. When you play CK2, have any of you guys ever obtained any bloodlines? What bloodlines do you guys enjoy in Crusader Kings 2? As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.